Today marks 1530th day of daily lessons, daily reflections. And today I share experience that I had. And Vancouver, BC is a beautiful place. There's a lot of walking territories. And I walked from Science World, a beginning where I started my walk by the seawall, and I walked all the way to the UBC. That's about 3 hours walk. It's about 15 kilometers of walk. And it's a beautiful, beautiful walk. There's a lot of beaches, a lot of people, and it's a beautiful day to explore. And I was thinking about my three most important words when I was going those 3 hours, and that's exposure, challenge, and joy. Exposure, challenge, and joy. An interesting thing that is the first time I did this kind of walk. And again, this is again show that I exposing myself to different things, different territories, different places. Again, challenge is that I challenge myself, walk 3 hours straight, 15 kilometers. To be honest, I have run 10 kilometers. It's different when you walk for 3 hours straight. It's much, much more difficult. And at the beginning, it was joy walking, but at the end, that joy turned to um, resistance, and I made a decision to walk those 15 kilometers at the beginning. So at the beginning, it was very very easy. And again, this is where I think it's extremely important to understand that when you challenge yourself to be alone, because I did that journey by myself. Again, there's a question: is like, what kind of thoughts does it go through your mind when doing that? Are you able to sustain? Because there was no reason to do that. I think it's beautiful. Again, I'm a massive believer in self-imposed challenges. And when you want to turn back, when you feel yourself to hurt, when um, there's nothing to think about, what do? Do you keep pushing, or do you want to turn back? When you made a decision to do something, I think you need to learn to do and go through it. Because you don't stop because it's inconvenient. You don't stop because it's hard. You don't stop for those reasons because you made a decision to do it. And I think that's extremely important is that to really look into what kind of thoughts is going through your mind when you're alone, when you really going through a struggle. What do you go through? Do you really create some game? Because I think that one thing is that what I like when I run as well is just they're like, okay, I will walk extra couple hundred meters and I will think what I will do next. I will walk a couple of hundred meters. So I break my big goal into small chunks. And that small chunks is so much easier. And I think, okay, well, I will go a couple hundred meters. I will take a small rest, or I will take a picture, and that small stretch really helps to really go through that whole journey. And you realize that, oh wow, I finished the journey little by little, small chunks at a time. And I think that's when you look into those 15 kilometers as well, like when was the biggest resistance? What did you need to go through to really go through the most resistance? And when it was? It was at 50%, it was at 70%, it was 8%. And what did you do when you felt the most resistance? Did you try to really neglect that thought? Did you want to go through that thought? Like it's something that's very important to learn how to deal with the emotions when those emotions come into the place. And I think that it's a very beautiful question as well that we need to really ask is that how do we treat ourselves internally? Because when the resistance coming in place, when you made a decision to do something and now you really don't want to do that anymore, do you say like, oh, you're such a loser, not wanting to finish it, or you say like, I truly understand that's totally fine to feel this way, and I think every single person would feel this way when they are tired, when the legs start to hurt, they are bored to death, and of course they would go back home. But you are different. You're different. You made a decision, and you are showing up for yourself, and because of that, you will finish the race. So one could be discouraging, like don't be a pussy, don't be a loser, or I truly believe that it's more better from the positive perspective. You were different. You build differently. You are the one who really you want one of those one percenters who makes the choice and who finishes the race. And I think that that positive uplifting is better than a stick and say like don't do that, don't finish it. And I think that's a beautiful how you internally do it. Do you judge? Do you encourage? Do you do you numb? And I think that's the more you learn how to encourage yourself, the easier it is to really to do it in everything in life. Because I always said that self-imposed challenges teach you how to really treat yourself internally as well. And I think that's the beautiful thing is that when you look into the, um, the finish of the journey, what really that shows about you. I think that's one thing beautiful thing is that sometimes when we clear our mind, finally when we're able to really be with ourselves for hours and hours and hours, what kind of things you visualized? What was important for you during that time? And really able to reflect on what kind of pictures was sent to me by subconscious. What is important for me right now? Because in 3 hours, a lot of pictures will show up. A lot of pictures will show up. And what are those pictures? I think that is able to really reflect. And that's why I think that's extremely important to really spend time by ourselves, just by ourselves, because you're not able to really go internal world when you with someone. So when I be going for a walk, my son be just in the white friends, like, oh, okay, let's go for a walk. Let's go for 3 hours walk. Yeah, that's great. That's amazing to build connection. But sometimes the most important connection that we need to build is with ourselves. So I think that every single person is supposed to choose, maybe not every single month, but once in 3 months, to really go for like a long, long walk to really build that internal resilience, build that clarity, build awareness, and build more understanding about yourself. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.